Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's NegativeAE, and welcome to Steins Gate 0. We just world line jumped from the Kurisu world line, which was pretty insane. Let's see. I don't know what's different about this one, because we came from like a mess. Because if you remember from the other episodes a couple days ago, it was just Maho had lost access to Kurisu. Yuki was the villain, pretty much. She was the one that was raiding us. So, like, what's the difference here? Look what's happening. What's the medicine? I'm fine. No need to worry. Lukaku. And... Really? You shouldn't push yourself. Kagari Shina. If Mayuri and Kagari were here, that meant I was back to the beta world line. Just a little hungry. I haven't eaten anything at all today. Huh. Come on, Uncle Dean. You need to eat or you won't get big like Uncle Daru. I'd rather skip a meal than end up like him. What was the huh? Wait. Rather skip a meal than end up like them. Huh? What was that? You will, Mommy. Can you? Kagari, not you too. Yuki's been teaching me things lately. Okay, then I'll help too. Wait. Sorry, should I not help? No, that's not it. That's not it at all. I looked around at everyone and then back at Kagari.
Kagari-san.
Miss Shina. Okarin, I said you could just call me Kagari. Something was different.
Kagari.
Okay, Kagari, can I ask you what you were calling Mayuri? I called her Mommy. Why? Why? Because she's my mommy. Right, Mommy? It's kind of embarrassing to hear that. Felt vaguely dizzy watching Mayuri fidget in embarrassment. I don't know if it's too big of a problem. Why would you say? Well, now they do, motherfucker. You're the one who told me about her. I did? That's right. You said it would be better to know the truth, right? Nah. Did I really tell them? Did I tell them something so important? I mean, it's not really that important. I mean, I guess if... Then does Lukaku also... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to listen in, but I heard it anyway. Lukaku lowered his head in apology. But don't worry, I haven't told anyone. Being able to share in everyone's secrets kind of made me happy. I would have been happier if you told me directly, but... Even Lukaku knew about marrying Kagari. When? Which meant that, of course. Still, I was really surprised. I thought that the time machine was only fiction. No idea you could make it real. He knew about the time machine. Evidently, I hadn't simply come straight back from the Alpha World line. Yeah, this is a completely different shiz. I was in a world line slightly different than from the one I'd been in before. The divergence meter I'd used before was now gone. which that meant that I didn't have a precise number, but this all felt very different. It was like 1.0, right? 1.0 something, like exactly? I actually don't remember. The problem was finding out what was the same as the old world line and what was different.
Kagari,
Kagari, can I ask you some more questions? What is it? I showered Kagari with questions in an effort to find out what was going on. Here's what I learned. First, Kagari retained her memories of her childhood, in other words, the year 2036. Interesting. She knew Maori, Daru, Suzuha, and also Ferris and Lukaku. But as for what the world of 2036 was like... Wait. And how'd she become Maori's daughter? She hadn't told them the details about that. Fortunately, they hadn't seemed interested about knowing about their futures. Everyone always thinks they'd want to know what their future holds. But when the chance finally comes, the fear outweighs your curiosity. The future isn't always a happy thing. Knowing the future might destroy your dreams. It might be a death sentence, like it was for me. Some people would lose all sense and meaning of their lives if they knew there was inevitably going to be a war in which 5 billion people died. Then it was definitely your staying at Lukaku's that brought you here, right? Yep. And it was you who brought me and Mom together, okay? Don't you remember? Right, I just thought I'd double check so you know. Okay. So just people know stuff now. And she retained her... So, okay, here's my problem. Is if she retained her memories, she's like crazy, right? Kagari's crazy. Because she has that voice in her head, it's freaking, you know? And she needs to, like, get rid of that, and the amnesia was, like, a barrier to that. Now that she can, she remembers everything from her childhood, like, what happened? Does she still have that voice in her head, or is it, like, what's going on? Like, is this a Kagari that didn't get that voice in her head? Kagari going missing happened almost exactly as I remembered it. The same was true of how she came to us. And you don't remember about, anything about what you were doing while you were missing? Nope, not a thing. The first thing I can remember is lying on a bed in a temple. Okay, she was still missing some. Okay, we're good. The only memories she had were of her childhood in the last few weeks since she'd woken up in the Chibiya Mountains. The most important part was still missing. Was there anything else I needed to ask? I was staring at the floor trying to think when I realized that something was missing. The floor is clean. Oh, I cleaned it before you came. No, that's not it. Wasn't there a little hole in the floor? A hole in the floor? The lab had just been attacked last night. So the attack never happened. During the attack, one of their bullets had left a dark hole in the floor. Was there a hole there? I don't think so. By the way, how was yesterday? The party? It was a lot of fun. I never had so much fun in my life. They wouldn't say that if there had been an attack, which meant that the attack had never taken place. Was no one after Kagari in this world? No, it was too early to assume that. I still didn't know what had happened since she'd gone missing, or when she'd gone missing. Until then, I couldn't say for sure if she was safe. Just like how sometimes Maori's death would occur on different days in the Alpha World line, the same thing might happen a few days later. In fact, it would be better to be cautious. I hope we can all have another party soon. When we do, I'll make something. Me too. I'll help. They all started happily talking about last night's party. At first glance, it was a peaceful scene. But something sinister might be happening and I just didn't know it. No, I knew something had to be happening. The fact that the world line was changing was proof. Why had it changed anyway? That's a good question, dude. I thought back to the events of that night. First, someone had taken over Amadeus, and then I answered the call and it changed, immediately. Kurisu called me and asked for help. The world line had changed right after I'd answered. I didn't even say anything. Which is weird, because when I did it the last time, I didn't pick up, and still nothing happened. Which meant that the key was Amadeus? And Amadeus has something to do with the world line change? It's seeming like it does. Pretty much every time the world line changes. What about the group? Was it all connected? We need to find out. Okay. By the way, Kagari, are you okay on time? Oh no, break time's over. The owner's gonna get mad at me.
店長ということは
The owner?
バイトしてるのか
Do you have a job?
そうだよ。下のブラウン管工房で。って、
Wait,
この前言ったじゃん。
okay.
そうだった
I
か
see. In the other world line, Kagari had started working for Tenoshi after the attack. That was another difference.
もう今日のオカリン
Jeez, you're
さん
so
は
out
ボ
of
ケ
it
ボケ
today,
だ
Okarin.
ね。
Get a
し
hold
っ
of
かり
yourself.
して。
すまない
Sorry. Kagari had hopped up and skipped out of the room. Her words and mannerisms were much more childish than they had been in the last world line.
アルバイト頑張ってね。
Work hard, okay?
はーい。それじゃ行ってきます。
Yeah, she's very... You're right. She's very, like, energetic this time. I didn't even notice that.
カガリ
Good,
戻る前に
good going.
もう一つだけ聞かせてくれ
Kagari, let me ask one more thing before you go. I asked one final question to Kagari, who was now giving a crisp salute.
アマデウスという言葉を聞
Does
い
the
て
word, Amadeus
何か思い当たる
mean
ことはない
anything
か
to you?
アマテウス？
Kagari seemed to think for a moment.
ごめん、わかんないや。
Sorry, nothing.
そうか
I see. She didn't look like she was lying or being sarcastic. She must have really not known. I watched her leave the lab and then took out my phone. There was another thing I needed to check. What was happening with Amadeus? I don't have it. The application which started the program, but the program was gone. Message Maho.
悪かったなこんなところ
Sorry
に
to
呼
call
び
you
出し
out
て
here.
別に構わないわ。ちょう
It's
ど
fine.
近く
I
まで来
just
てたから
happened to be nearby. After seeing the missing icon on my phone, I'd contacted Maho immediately. My goal, of course, was to see what was going on with Amadeus in this world. I had to find out.
で、話って
So, what did you want to talk about?
アマデウスのことだ
It's about Amadeus? What? Maho's eyes suddenly went wide. Her reaction surprised me as well. It simply said the word Amadeus.
あなた、どうして知ってるの？
How do you know?
どうしてって
What do you
どう
mean?
いうことだ
どうしてあなたがアマデウス
How
の
do you
こと
know
を知ってる
about
のよ？
Amadeus?
だってあのプロ
The
ジェクト
program
は
was
去
put
年
on
の夏
hold last summer after
クリ
Kurusu's
スの
death.
事件があった。
凍結された
Amadeus was put on hold?
凍結ってことはつまり
You mean the project itself was shut
プロ
down?
ジェクト自体
はっきり言ってしまえば、
Yeah, that's
そう
right.
いうことね。
She clenched her fists in anger. It seemed that the change in this world line was a big one.
で、さっきの質問、
Now answer my question. How
どうして
did you
あなた
know
がアマ
about
デウスのことを知ってる？
Amadeus? Because... Should I tell her about the world lines and the tractor field theory?
クリスから聞いたんだよ
Kurusu told me that someone at her
そ
lab
うい
was
う研
doing work
究
on
をし
it.
てるって
クリスが
Kurusu told you about that.
あなたにそんな
I
話まで
decided
して
that
た
it
の？
wasn't the time to tell her. If I tried to explain everything, I'd have to tell her about the D-mail and the time machine. Maho didn't seem to know about all that yet. I could imagine what she'd do if she heard the truth. She was yet another one of those people who was entranced by the possibility of science.
なあ、アマデウスが凍結されたっていう
Can you tell me a little more about how the project was shut down?
詳しく教えて
What was the
くれない
reason?
か
なんでも外部団
Apparently
体
there
か
was
ら
a
クレーム
complaint
が
for
入
an
ったんです
outside group.
人の記憶を人工知能に持たせるのは
Creating an artificial intelligence with the human memories is no different than making a copy of a human, they say.
神のみに許され
It's
る修
something
行
that
だ
only
って
God is allowed to do. It's kind of
欧
dumb.
米って自分たちの価
A
値
lot
観
of
で
people
物
in
を言う
Europe
人
and
が多い
America
のよ
like to
ね
push their values on others,
特に
especially in
そういう
delicate
デリ
matters
ケー
like
トな部
these.
分は
理由はそれだけなのか
Is that the only reason?
ええ
Yep.
少なくとも
At least as
私
far
は
as
そう
I've
聞いてる
heard.
わ
The professor and the rest of the team were really mad when they heard the research was being shut down.
教授たちも随分
The
と怒って
Amadeus
た
program was stopped. What's going on here? What's going on? Okabe, there's something I want you to tell me. You okay with asking me? Yes, I think you can give me good advice. I don't want you expecting too much. What kind of gift do you think a father would enjoy? Your father, huh? I think the darkness within him goes very deep. Huh? The darkness? Oh, you know, darkness, a black handkerchief? Maybe that would be a good idea. Maybe, yeah. A handkerchief. Great, I'll go buy that. But why black? I think your dad probably likes black. Thank you, Okabe. That was an interesting conversation I just had. Did that have something to do with the world line change too? So how did I meet Maho? We'd originally met at the Amadeus seminar. That never happened.
どうしたの
What's wrong?
いや
Oh, it was just remembering how
思
we
い出
met?
してたんだ
あ
Oh
あ、あ
yeah.
の時のこと
That was quite the coincidence, wasn't it?
ああいう偶然ってあるのね
I asked a few more questions, taking care of not to rouse her suspicions, and managed to learn the basic story. I kind of wanted to see that conversation go down. Maho had really wanted to see the place where Kurisu had died. When she finally went to the radio building, she'd run into me.
オカルト的な考え方って大っ嫌い
I
だ
hate
け
to
ど
say this, because it sounds so unscientific, but
あなたと出
I'd
会え
like
た
to
の
think
は
that it was karma.
ク
That
リス
Kurisu
が繋い
brought
で
the
くれ
two
た
of us
縁なのか
together.
もしれないわね
Karma, or perhaps another example of attractor field convergence. It had already been decided that Maho and I would meet here in Akibara. But was there some meaning in that?
そうそうマイルさんたちによろしく
Tell
伝えてお
Mayori
いてくれ
and
る
the
か
others
し
I
ら
said hi. And that
You know,
last night was a lot of fun.
あ
Sure. Evidently she got into last night's party in this world land too.
おかげで日本でのいい思
It's
い出が
given
で
me
きた
some
わ
good memories of Japan.
思い出って
Good memories.
帰るのか
You're leaving.
すぐにじゃないけどね
Not immediately.
言ったで
Remember what I
しょ
said? I'm taking over Kurisu's research.
いつまでも日本でバカンス気分を堪
I
能
can't
して
stay
る
on
わけに
vacation
い
in
かない
Japan
の
forever.
そうか
I see. But still, she was only in Japan for another 10 days. I had hoped nothing would happen during that time. Does that mean something happens? That's hoped. Hoped is worrying me. Amadeus had been shut down and no longer existed. No longer would I hear Kurisu's voice. After I said goodbye to Maho, what that meant really started to sink in. I could still feel Kurisu's warmth in my chest. Her smell. All the feelings I tried to forget were coming back, and now that I'd seen her. No one will ever be happy in that world line. Everyone will be miserable. That's what she said. I knew that. That's why I decided to stay here. But that didn't mean I could erase the sense of loss I felt. I went back to the lab to get all of this together in my head. The cause of the attack last night... Wait. The cause of the attack in the last world line was Kagari. And there was a good chance that Amadeus was involved in the world line change that took place afterward. But in this world line, the lab had never been attacked. And the Amadeus project had been cancelled while it was still in the research stage. That meant two major factors in the events that occurred so far no longer existed. If they were gone, maybe there was no need to worry too much. But even so, there was still a tiny alarm going off in the back of my mind. Why had Amadeus been shut down? What happened to Kagari's missing memories? If nothing else, I need to learn the answers to those two questions. I thought for a while, then took out my phone and booted up the Rhine application. Ooh, I'm Kagari. I wonder what exposition I'm gonna get here. Kagari Shina felt happier now that more fulfilled than the people around her thought she was. Her memories were missing. All she had now were her memories of when she was young. She'd gone to the past when she was 10 and then gotten separated from Suzuha. Her memories afterward were a total blank, with the exception of the last few weeks. Her oldest memories, she still remembers putting the gun up to Suzuha, because that's when they got separated, right? Is when she pulled the gun on Suzuha and then she left. But, so she's still like, I don't know. Her oldest memories after her childhood were of the ceiling she saw when she woke up. It was the ceiling of an old temple, with the stairs here and there that looked like faces. She remembered being a little scared. Shortly after that, she was given the Anabayashi shrine. Kagari, would you like some tea? Oh, yeah. Thanks, Luca. Okay, I'll put some on. Shrine life has to be cool, right? Like just owning a shrine? It's gotta be cool. That was when she'd met Luca Ushibara. At the time, she hadn't realized that she already knew him. Luca Urushibara was a good friend of her mother, Mayori Shina. He played with her a lot when they were kids. When she was younger, she'd always thought he was a woman. To Kagari's young eyes, she'd been a strong, grown-up woman. At the time, she'd always wondered why Suzuha had called him Big Brother Luca. Here you are. Thank you. But the Luca in front of her now was far younger than the one she'd known, and he looked like a very pretty girl, and not nearly as strong. So she'd only realized that he was the Luca Urushibara she knew after meeting her mother. This tea tastes a little different. It's rosemary tea. It's supposed to help you concentrate and improve your memory. I had Ferris make me some, or give me some. Improving your memory and finding lost memories seems like totally different things to her, but she didn't say so. Just the thought had made her very happy. Luca, Mama Mayori, and the rest of Okabe's friends were all trying to help her get her memories back. It would probably make most people nervous not having their memories. It would be hard not knowing what you'd experienced, but to be honest, Kagari didn't think she needed to remember. Sometimes it seemed like a memory was about to come back. Each time, her mind would roar with a sense of fear and anxiety. Was it not very good? Luca saw that. Luca saw that she'd only taken a sip and stopped. And he seemed very worried. Wow, my sentence reading is terrible today. Oh no, that's not true. It's good. I was just thinking. Thinking. Yep, but it's nothing. She took a sip of the tea, hoping to change the subject. Anyway, Luca, are you really a boy? Everyone else said he was, but still, it just didn't seem right to her. I am. Yeah. You really look more like a girl, though. I don't know what to say to that. I know. Hey, why don't we take a bath? Why don't we take a bath tomorrow? What? Then I'll know if you're really a boy or not. What the fuck? Kagari's trying to make moves on Luca? No, we can't. Why not?
だって
Because I can't take a bath with a girl.
お姉さんとは一緒に入ってなかったの
Didn't you take baths with your sister?
入ってましたけど
Yes, but that's when I was little.
かがりさんごめんごめん冗談だ
Sorry,
よ
sorry.
冗談
It was a joke.
ルカ君が
You're so cute, I felt like I had to
つい
tease
か
you.
らかっちゃった
Jesus, I was about to be like, what is this freaking love that's going on right
で
now?
もそういう反応を見せるってことは
But if you responded that way, it means you really are a boy.
最初からそうだって言ってるじゃないです
I
か
I don't know if that's a trick that you could use to decide if someone's actually a boy or not. Cause like, I don't know. That is a weird trick that somehow worked. Even though he was upset, he still looked like a girl, she thought. As you can see, there are tons of different dishes available and they're all you can eat. The TV screen had been showing all kinds of delicious food.
すごいな
Sukoina. The sight of it almost moved her to tears.
今の時代ってすごいよね
This time is so wonderful.
私の知ってる未来
It's
と
so
は
different than the
大違い
world I know.
そうなんですか未
Is
来の
it?
世界
What's the
っ
future
て
like?
知りたい
Do you want to know? Luca looked a little uncertain. And even though she'd asked, Kagari wasn't certain she should tell him. The future she knew was filled with despair. Everyone struggled desperately to stay alive, hoping that tomorrow would somehow be better. If they knew there was no hope, how would they survive? This is a weird Kagari. Has the other Kagari really wanted the other world line to exist? Maybe this Kagari still does?
やっぱりやめておきます
So this Kagari like knows more? And why is she working at the Bronte workshop? There's so many questions I have. Kagari suddenly
その方がいいよ
You're better off that way.
未来は
The
変
future
えら
can
れ
be
るもの
changed.
だから未来は変えられる
The future can be changed?
ママがね
Yeah,
そう言っ
that's
て
what
た
Mom said. She said it could be
変えられる
changed. And she
変え
said
て
he
くれる
changed
っ
it.
て変えてくれ
He'd
る
change it. That's what Mayori had always told Kagari. That was her tiny light of hope. She want okay.
なん
So
だ
this
っ
is
けな
completely different from the
シ
last
ュタ
Kagari.
インなんとか
What was it? Steins what?
シュタインズゲートですか
Steins Gate.
そうそれ
Yes, that's
そ
it.
れは必
Mommy
ずあ
said
る
she knew it was
って
real.
って言いながらそれが
But I don't really know
何
what
な
it
のか
is.
私もよくわからないんだけど
Steins Gate, to be honest. Kagari didn't know exactly what that meant. But every time Mayori said it, Kagari had felt warmth in her heart. Someone would come to lead them to Steins Gate. When she thought about that, it gave her hope.
さて、それでは次の特集です。
And now, for our next report.
今、世界で記憶の
Did you know that the memory restoration technology is being studied around the globe?
今日はその最先端を走る
Okay.
あるアメリカの大学の
It's
特
a
集です。
weird commercial to have on screen, a news freaking. Today we have a special report on an American university that's at the cutting edge of this research. The news show had finished its food report and had already switched to another topic. Now it was showing a college campus covered in greenery. How convenient! This newscast right now. It was a large, wide open space that clearly wasn't Japanese. The second she saw it, she suddenly felt dizzy.
こちらはビクトル・コンドリア大学。
This is
一見
Victor
普通のキ
Crondia
ャンパスに見
University.
えるこの大
It
学。
may seem just like another college
し
campus.
かし、この学内で
But
は
there's a
今
major project
ある
going
大
on
きな
here
プロ
right
ジェク
now.
トが進められています。
Discussion became more technical. It's far beyond what Kagari, who had only had her memories as a child, could understand. But
チャンネル変えましょう
should
か
I change the channel?
待って
Oh, wait. Kagari stopped him before he could get to the remote.
かがりさんわかるんですか
Do you understand this?
脳
Yeah,
の
they're
構造
talking about how the brain works
記憶を
and
捏
whether you
造
could
する
make
こ
false
とはで
memories.
きるかす ごいですね。
That's amazing.
僕
It
に
was too
は難
complicated
しく
for
て
me.
何が何だか。
She suddenly found herself easily understanding what was being said. Why? How? How could she understand this?
そうそんなに難しい
Yeah,
話じゃない
it's
よ。
not that complicated.
記憶は脳の中の
Memories are
海
controlled
馬
by
っていう
Jesus
とこ
Christ.
ろが司ってい
Controlled by
る
the part of
ん
the
だけど、
game called the
そ
hippocampus.
の中に
There's a special part of the
地上界
hippocampus
って
that
呼ばれる
is
ところ
called
がある
the
のね。
I'm gonna try my best. Fascia dentata. Tried my best. She was surprised at what she was saying, but the words kept coming anyway.
そこで行われる
When new nerve cells are constructed there, they cause existing neurological pathways to reorganize. That's what makes you forget things. And so, when the study stream did experiments on mice, they saw false memories created. Oh, look. The room in the back. That's where they do the mice experiments and stuff.
かがりさん
Kagari,
もしかして
are
こ
you
の大
familiar
学
with this
知っ
university?
てる？
She suddenly realized that Luca was looking confused.
だってなんだか
I mean,
詳
you
しそう
seem to
な
know a lot
口ぶり
about
で
it.
したし。
The TV showing something that looked like a lab. The camera went towards the back of the room. A white door opened to lead to the next room.
この部屋で行われたマウスを
After seeing the results of the experiments on mice performed here, the research
う
team...
ん、知らない。
No, I don't.
でも今
But just now... That's right, she wasn't familiar with it. She didn't know anything about a place like this. But
わからない。
I
知ら
don't
ない。
know.
けど
I don't know, but
なんでだろう。
for
さ
some
っきは
reason,
知っ
it
てるよう
suddenly
な
feels
気
like I
が
do.
したの。
Here we go. Here's the Leskinen. Suddenly there was a piercing pain in the back of her head. It felt like the beginning of something terrifying. Wait a second. Wait a second. I think I figured it out.
いいか、おめえの頼みを聞いてやるわけじゃねえ。それだけは忘れるんじゃねえぞ。
Before I continue, so I was questioning why Dr. Leskinen was evil in the first one, like what happened, whatever, and we had like a discussion in the comments before, but you know what I just realized just now is Dr. Leskinen is inside Kagari, and didn't he find Kagari in the bad ending? And like he realized that he was inside there, and like him from the future told him to be evil. He's not inherently an evil guy, but when something with it's got to be something with Kagari. Listen, I'm not doing this because you have to be tuning in.
感謝します。
I'm sorry, I'm just brainstorming. I like to do that sometimes. I don't know why. This morning, I'd gone to Tenoji and asked him to protect Kagari if something happened. That meant that I had to talk to him about his role as a rounder again. And I had to tell him that Kagari was caught up in something big too. But since this is the second time I've had that conversation, I was able to make it go a little smoother. It was only relative to the first time though. I never wanted to ask him for anything like this ever again.
岡部、おめえら一体何に関わってやがる。
What the hell are you people involved in?
それは
I stopped myself.
話せねえってか。
You can't say, huh?
頼み
You asked
事
me
す
for
る
a
だけし
favor,
て
but you won't say
ずい
anything?
ぶん
すみません。
I'm sorry.
だがそれでいい。
That's good though.
え
What?
情報ってのは
Information is your final trump card. If you had just come out and told me, I would have called this whole thing off.
ま、せいぜい
Anyway.
気をつけるんだな。
Just be careful.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you, sir.
わかった、わかった。
I get it, I get it.
そうやっ
Don't
て
be so
かしこまる
polite.
な。
It makes it so damn hard to
や
deal
りに
with
く
you.
くてしょうがね
I bade him once more anyway and left the Rontu workshop. I managed to get Tenoji's help, and this morning I got another person on my side as well. Boy, Kakuriya. She was a lot easier than Tenoji. I checked with Daru last night and found out that just like in the original World line, we'd hired her to find out more information about Kagari. All I had to do was ask her to keep looking into what Kagari had been doing before she came to this town. Now I'd done everything I could in case something happened. All that was left was to pray that nothing did. It's good, so we're pre-prepared. I got back to the lab where Lukaku was waiting. He had a very suspicious look on his face, and he said he needed to talk to me.
実はカガリさんの記憶のことで
There's something bothering me about Kagari's memories.
かがりの
Kagari's memories?
とは言っても
Yeah,
これが
but I don't know
記
if it'll
憶を
help
取り戻すことにつ
help
な
bring
が
them
るか
back.
構わない。気にな
That's
ること
fine.
がある
If
なら
something's bothering you, just
話して
tell
く
me.
れ。
はい
Luca started to fidget and rub his knees together. Then he looked up at me and slowly opened his mouth.
昨べテレビで
Last night, they
記
were
憶
doing
の
a
研究
special
について
on
の
memory
特
research
集
on
をやっ
TV.
ていて
It was about an American university.
それを見ていたカガリさん
When
が
Kagari saw it, she acted like she recognized the school.
アメリカの大学
An American college.
どこの大学だ
Which one?
と
It
な
had
んだ
a
か
complicated
難しい名前の
name. I think
学
it
校で
was Victor Condor.
ビクトル・コンドリア大学か
Victor Condor University.
そうです
Oh,
その
that's
学
right.
校です
That's the place. Victor Condor University. That's where Kurisu had studied. Kagari knew Victor Condor? If that was true, then how? The most obvious possibility was that she went there too. But how would a kid who went missing in Japan go to an American school? And one of the best at that. Of course, it wasn't impossible, but
どうでし
what do you
何
think?
か
Is
手
this a
がかり
clue?
になりそうでしょ
I
うか
technically already know, because Dr. Leskinen's like inside her, right?
さすがにそれだけじゃ何とも言えないが
I can't say anything based off of just that, but
そうですか
I see. Lukaku's shoulders slumped in
で
disappointment.
も手がかり
But
に
that
なら
doesn't
ない
mean
と
it's
いう
not
わ
a
けじゃ
clue.
ない
それじゃあ
What? Then,
あ
yeah,
あ確かめ
it's
てみる
worth
必要
checking
がある
out.
な
改まってお話って
What did you
何かな
want to talk to me about? The best way to find out was to talk to her directly. Kagari was just about to start work, and it seemed she was put off by the fact that I suddenly asked to speak to her.
話はちょっと待ってくれるか
Can you wait just a second?
もう一人呼んであるん
I've
だ。
asked another person to join us.
もう一人
Another person? I didn't know a lot about Victor Condia myself. I could ask Kagari what she knew about the school, but I couldn't tell her that I couldn't tell her if the information was accurate or not. There was a better person she could ask. Someone who should be here any minute. Maho. Please, Maho, not Leskinen.
お邪魔し
Thank
ま
you.
す
The best way was to find out about the school was to ask someone who actually went there. In fact, Maho, to this day, was part of their brain science lab.
真帆さんこんにちは
Oh, Maho, hello.
はい元気
Hi, Ellen. Maho still didn't know that Kagari was from the future. They'd have to keep her from finding out.
それにしても本当にク
You
リス
know,
に
she
似てるわ
really does look like Kurisu. Maho stared at Kagari and then whispered so that only I could hear. It made sense. I'd been surprised myself. I started explaining to Maho why I'd brought her here.
じゃあ何つまり
So what?
彼
You
女
think she
が
might
う
have
ちの
gone to my
学校に
school?
いたかもしれないちょっと待ってそん
Wait
な
a
こと言われ
second.
て
I
も
don't know
私
anything about this
その
Victor Krondo what's its place.
ビクトル・コンドリア大学ほらね
See, I don't even remember the name.
昨日は
But
知ってい
yesterday
る
you
様子だった
acted like you recognized it. Right, Lukaku?
はい
Yeah, you said they did mice experiments in the back room.
そしたらその
And
後
that
本当にその部屋での
after that, they actually showed the experiments in that room.
かがりはそのことを
Do you remember that, Kagari?
ね覚えてない
I don't. I couldn't imagine Lukaku would lie, or that there would be any point in him doing so. But the same was true for Kagari, too.
漆原さんその研究室
Urishibara, do you remember where that lab was?
詳しく
I
は
don't know
わ
the
からないんです
details,
けど
but they said they were doing research on memories in the brain.
ということは もしかすると
which means it might have
脳
been
科
the
学
brain
研
science
究所か
lab.
もしれないわね。
What was there?
私が所属しているところよ。
That's where I work. And also where Kudesu worked.
それじゃあもしかしたら
Kagari
カ
may
ガリ
have
は
met you in
ヒアジョ
Kudesu.
さんや
あくまでも家庭の話よ。
It's just a possibility.
脳科学を研究しているところは一
There's
つじゃ
more
ない
than one
し、
place that researches brain science.
私のいるところだって
And
院
it's
生だ
not
けじゃなく、
just grad
一般の
students
研
where I
究者
work.
も
There
た
are a
く
lot
さん出入りしてる
of
もん。
regular scientists too.
私だって研究所にいる人
Even
間
I
全
haven't
員
met
と顔を
everyone
合
at
わ
the
せ
lab.
た。ただ
But if I saw another Japanese person there, I'm sure I'd
見か
remember
ければ
that.
記憶には残っているでしょうね。
Which meant that she didn't remember it. Which meant she probably hadn't met her.
ルカ子他に
Lukako, was there anything about
カガ
Kagari
リの
that
こと
you've
で気になったこと
noticed? Kagari sometimes
Kagari-san.
knows about things that are really
時々びっ
complicated.
くりするくらい難しい。
私だって難しいこと
Hey,
く
I
ら
know
い知
some
ってるもん。
complicated things. Kagari pouted. That was one expression that was totally different from
例えば
Kudesu's.
と
Roses and wait, what the? What? I missed something. For example,
バラとか
So just-
憂鬱とか。
those were just words that were too complicated to write in Japanese.
昨日はテレビで記憶
They
の
were doing a
捏造
special
に
on
ついて
fake
放
memories
送
last
してい
night,
たん
and
で
it
す
seemed
けど、
like you knew a lot about it.
それも
記憶の捏造ね。
Fake memories, huh?
確かに
Yeah,
その研
one of
究を
the
してい
teams
る
is
チームも
working
い
on
る
that.
わ。
We went to talk to them one time.
カガリ今その話
Kagari,
は
can
で
you
きる
talk
の
about
か
that now?
ね
I don't really know.
それが
Did I really
よく
talk
わか
about
ら
that
な
stuff?
話してましたよ。
You did. She put her hand between her eyebrows and thought. She really didn't remember, it seemed.
今までにこういうことはよくあっ
Has this
た
happened a lot before?
最近まではそれほど。
Not that much until
この
recently.
何日かで
It started happening over the last few days. I didn't know how Kagari could know things about Victor Crondia University, but it clearly had something to do with her missing memories. If I followed the trail a little longer, it might help some clues. It was possible I might be able to bring back her memories. Suddenly, she started to moan in
かが
pain.
りさんどうしたんですか？
Kagari, what's wrong? My head
ちょっ
kind of...
と
痛いんですか？
It hurts. Kako was looking at her face, worried.
ちょっぴり
Yeah, just a bit.
少し横になるか
Want to lie down a little?
大丈夫。
I'm fine.
少し話をせかせすぎたかもしれない
Maybe
な
this is all too sudden?
そうね。負担が大きかったのかもしれないわね
I。may have put too much stress on her. Maho was looking worried too.
本当に平気？
Are you really okay? Yeah,
大丈
I'm
夫で
fine.
す。ありがとう
Thank you,
先輩。
senpai.
だったらいいのだけど。
I hope so. The conversation was so natural that Maho and I almost missed it.
おい今
Hey, did she just...
うん。
Yeah,
先輩。
she called me senpai.
カガリ君今確かに
You just called Hyajo
先
senpai,
輩って
right?
呼んだよ
嘘。私
No,
そんなこと
no way, I didn't.
いいえ。
No,
間違
you
いなく
definitely
言った
did.
わ。
Ueshibaru, you heard it too, right?
はい。
Yes. Senpai. The Japanese word used to address an older classmate or colleague. I just learned that Maho and Kagari hadn't met. At Victor Crondia. Did that mean it was just a mistake? The sound of footsteps coming up the stairs distracted me. They were so heavy, there was no need to wonder who it was. Hi, Dara. Hey. At that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. We're going to see what Daru has to say in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I mean, obviously, if we're on fucking 30 episode, whatever the F this is, you probably already know all this. But if you don't, you should subscribe. I do a lot of visual novel and roguelike stuff, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode, whatever it may be. Peace out, you guys.